Hockey Hall of Famer Hoya Salming said in a statement he has been diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease. The 71-year-old is receiving treatment in his native Sweden for the progressive nervous system disease for which there is no cure.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote Renter's Insurance at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Top Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Ooh, by the way, it's Hump Day.
It's Hump Day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Tigers have a day off.
Hump Day.
Big scrimmage tomorrow.
It's Hump Day.
Brody Miller in 15 minutes.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Saints signed a quarterback.
Hump Day.
Put a draft pick on IR.
It's Hump Day.
Maddy Hudak in 1 hour.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Ricky Collins announces tonight.
Hump Day.
It's a Bourbon Dictionary Whiskey Wednesday.
It's Hump Day.
Otter one more time from Del Mar.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
And then maybe we can finally get the Otter back to reality here.
Hump Day.
Sick of losing.
It's Hump Day.
How'd he do last night, Muse? Do you remember?
We got a few. I know we got a few.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Did he have a winning day? I don't think he's had a winning day in 2 weeks.
Hump
I don't know if he had a winning night last night, but he had a few. I know that.
Well, it's time to get the Otter back here.
It's Hump Day.
Time to get him back to reality.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Time to get us back to making money.
Hump Day.
All right, let's get going here. On a Hump Day AFR. As I mentioned, Brody Miller is going to join us in 15 minutes from right now. Of course, covers LSU for The Athletic. Want Brody's thoughts on what we've seen so far from LSU and what has been available via camp, the 2 practices, the media availability, coaches, players, and then what we're looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, Tigers will be in Tiger Stadium with a full-scale practice that is completely open to the media. So looking forward to that. And tomorrow on the show, we will empty the bag of everything that we see. We'll sort of empty the notebook. So looking forward to that. So the Saints signed a quarterback. You remember Jameis tweaked his foot, and Dennis Allen said, look, he's day-to-day, not going to play this weekend against Houston. But it makes a lot of sense if you're the Saints that you're going to go at a quarterback because this is the proverbial camp arm, right? You can't just have Andy Dalton and Ian Book throw every pass of practice. That's how you get a 34-year-old quarterback to have a dead arm. You need to make sure you have another camp arm out there to throw passes, throw it around the yard a bit, and take some of the burden off of the guys that are there. So you probably saw this, but the Saints have added KJ Costello to the roster. Now, you remember KJ Costello. Oh, you don't remember KJ Costello? This might refresh your memory.
Costello going to go long to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Mitchell. Another huge third down play. Touchdown number 5 for KJ Costello.
Yeah. That KJ Costello. The KJ Costello that came into Tiger Stadium to start the COVID year and beat LSU 44-34. The KJ Costello that in that game threw for 623 yards against LSU. Essentially, KJ Costello is tequila. KJ Costello, the one-hit wonder of college football, because you see, after KJ Costello threw for 623 yards, Muse, do you remember what KJ Costello did the rest of the year?
I remember he got benched the next week.
Wasn't the next week.
Oh, wasn't?
After his 623-yard outing, Costello went out and threw for 313. Basically cut in half.
They lost that game, though.
And then 232. And then 99. And then 16. And then he got benched. And then they brought him back against Mizzou, and he went 0 for 2 for 0 yards. Basically, KJ Costello is college football's one-hit wonder. KJ Costello is Mark Hamill. That's what KJ Costello is.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened with your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No. I am your father. Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
Hard to believe, isn't it? Isn't it a little hard to believe? And Mark Hamill never really did anything else. I think he was a voice of a cartoon, right?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. I can Google it.
He was a voice of a cartoon somewhere along the way. He's done some commercials now, like some Geico commercials. But KJ Costello he's Ralph Macchio. He's Daniel LaRusso. That's what KJ Costello is.
Show me sand the floor.
I can't move my arm, all right? What are you doing? Ow! Ow, what are you doing?
Now show me sand the floor.
How did you do that?
Shut up! It was so good. When Miyagi rubbed you saw that, didn't you, Muse?
You haven't seen Karate Kid.
I don't know that everybody's seen it, Muse. Have you seen it when you're high?
No, I've never been high.
Whenever he rubs his shoulder, how'd you do that?
If you haven't seen Karate Kid, you probably thought KJ Costello was going to win the Heisman after the LSU game.
There's actually a Saturday morning host who said that on this air after the Mississippi State game. Said that there's only one Saturday morning host on the show, by the way, who said Costello would win the Heisman and would go on to be a first-round draft pick. KJ Costello is Rachel Lee Cook. Remember She's All That? The famous... Well, yeah, you remember this.
Laney Boggs, get your cute butt down here.
Oh, she was so cute. Who did they think they were kidding, though, by the way, with this? You know what I mean?
It's a good song.
It's not a good song.
It's a good
It's
song.
not a good song. Muse, it's not a good song. That's another one-hit wonder. It's the song.
It's a good song,
The song
bro.
Kiss Me is the one. Who sang that?
I have no idea.
It was Sixpence None the Richer. How about
How
that?
do you not like the song? It's a great
Could
song.
that have been any better? That was when she fell down the stairs. Could that have gone? She's like, you ready? Freddie Prinze Jr., right?
Yeah.
Could that have been any better? Like, you had Rachel Lee Cook, who after that only did like Josie and the Pussycats, never did another damn thing in her career. She was a one-hit wonder, and the song from the movie that made her famous was a one-hit wonder. But who did they think they were kidding? Like, she was clearly so hot. Like, she was so good. She was so good looking. They just like put her hair in a ponytail, put glasses on her. It was such a joke. But anyway, KJ Costello. College football's one-hit wonder. That's right. KJ Costello basically is Chumbawamba. That's what KJ Costello is. He's college football's version of tub thumping. Whenever you're ready. There it is. Could there have ever been a simpler song? Except for maybe Tequila.
Tequila might be more, yes.
Tequila has one word. This song is basically Whiskey, vodka, lager, cider, pissing the night away. Huh. That's the whole song. It's pretty brilliant. You know,
it worked.
KJ Costello is the Macarena. Is this not the greatest one-hit wonder of all time? I might argue that KJ Costello is the greatest one-hit wonder. Like, he's got a record Muse that may never be broken. 623 yards in an SEC game. I mean, we've seen a lot of explosive offenses. Might we ever see 623 yards again? Probably not. What was up with the creepy old men on the hang-down microphone in this video?
It was a different time, Matt. I mean,
it was. And you could never avoid the song, by the way. It was just so odd that you had all of these scantily clad girls dancing and talking about their promiscuity, and then there was these two old Latino men, like, bobbing side to side singing the refrain. It was an odd song.
You still can't avoid that song for what it's worth. It's played in stadiums. It's played at weddings. Like, it's still everywhere.
One song that I would love to avoid is Aha. Take on Me. Rated by Rolling Stone. The greatest one-hit wonder of all time. How do we feel about Take on Me?
It's a good song. I like the song.
It's not a good song.
It's not the greatest one-hit wonder of all time, though.
Interestingly enough, in my search for one-hit wonders to run parallel to our dear friend KJ Costello here, I learned that the 80s produced the most one-hit wonders, which is not surprising because the 80s is the worst decade of music, which is why they produced so many one-hit wonders. Anyway, KJ Costello, college football and arguably the SEC's greatest one-hit wonder. But now, he's our one-hit wonder, a member of the New Orleans Saints. He'll be gone soon enough. All right, it's after further review, having some fun here as we push off from the dock on a Wednesday. Talk some LSU football. Brody Miller joins us next on AFR. AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery, 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. You know where to find them, and if you want to beautify your yard, your lawn, your garden, all of that, Clegg's can help. Not only do they have the products, but they have the expertise. Right about this time of year, a lot of people start dealing with brown spots in their yard when you get into the heat of summer. If you're having those issues, Clegg's can help. They have all the solutions for you. If you're not sure what to plant, maybe you're green thumb and you know exactly what you're looking for, well, then you know Clegg's has a great selection. But if you're not sure what to plant, maybe, plants or flowers that need a certain amount of sunlight, or if you don't have a ton of time, you need something that's going to thrive if you're not paying too much attention every day, Clegg's has all of those answers for you. 4 locations: Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Any of the 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, they're partnered with True Value Hardware Store, so get on by and see them like I tell you every day. Buy local, shop local, tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
For over 53 years, customers have been heading to Happy Town for the Corval Toyota experience. Why? Because they choose to get an outstanding price and amazing customer service. Want the same and get treated like family? Then Corval Toyota in Opelousas is the dealership for you. Corval vehicles have been cruising around Acadiana for 5 decades. Corval Toyota is here to stay, and we want to keep you rolling. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin. 2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
LSU football's got the day off. They'll be in Tiger Stadium on Thursday for full-scale practice, and media will have availability. We'll have access to the entire practice. I cannot shoot video of the entire practice, but we'll certainly be taking notes, and we'll sort of empty that notebook on tomorrow's show. Brody Miller is good enough to join us now, talk some Tigers. Here's their about a week into camp now. Brody, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Matt?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. So it's interesting because we haven't had availability to see practice every day, but what we have seen has been more than what we typically do. So if I asked you so far through a week, what is your maybe biggest takeaway or takeaways, where would you start?
I think probably just kind of, and this isn't new, right? And I always preface this, but first week, not too much is really getting figured out. But still, I do think just the offensive line shuffling has been kind of one of the more interesting things to follow. And it's not new. They were doing it in the spring, but still, Anthony Bradford, for example, Garrett Dellinger, Marlon Martinez, they all missed the majority or all of spring. So really to see, Bradford right now looking like he's taking first-team right tackle reps, Garrett Dellinger taking first-team center reps, it's telling and it's interesting because it shows what they think of their talent. And I think it's such a coach talk thing, but getting the best five linemen on the field really literally seems to be the case this year, where Garrett Dellinger's a guy they're obviously been very high on, former top 100 recruit. They've always liked him. If theoretically he really knows how to play center and he's ready, that is such a huge win, right? To be able to be like, oh, shoot, this guy might be the second best lineman, period, and you're filling a huge hole. Now you feel good about, say, Frazier at right guard and Bradford at tackle. And I thought it was interesting how Kelly said he's been pairing Bradford and Frazier on the right because they're interchangeable, because they could theoretically flip one to guard and one to tackle. So I just think the whole moving around has just been fascinating to follow. And what a world we live in that the true freshman left tackle, Will Campbell, is the only sure thing there really is on the line.
Isn't that bizarre? But you know what?
Yeah.
You know what's odd, Brody, is a year ago, the narrative year ago on the offensive line, man, they got everybody back. Remember, like Deculus came back, and Ingram came back, and Hines came back. They got everybody back. Shanahan was back. But the conversation that we had last year in the preseason was just because you got everybody back from a line that wasn't very good doesn't mean you're better, right? But now you're replacing everybody. So would you say at this point, if you even remember, would you say you're more confident in that group a year ago at this time or now?
Yeah, it's such a good question because you're absolutely right. And then, by the way, I forget who did it, but there's been some really good data analysis done on O-line's actually not a position that returning production matters as much as people think it would. And it's not one of those obvious correlators. So I think you're right. And I'm really not lying when I say I think this year I have more optimism. Now, and I'm a broken record here, but the way I keep putting it is I feel like the floor is higher on this line than it was, the past 2 years or so. I like the floor. I think they have 8, 9 guys who they feel like they can play down to the interchangeable thing and all that. I like a lot of the pieces. I just have literally no idea what the ceiling is. Like the ceiling might not be that high because you literally don't only know one starter. You don't really know if any of these guys are going to wow you, but I do like the pieces. I do think it's worth noting that I saw improvement in the offensive line that second half of working with Brad Davis last year. So like that should also give a little optimism. They might turn a corner in year two. So I'm in no world going to say I think this line's a strength, but I do weirdly have more optimism that it's going to be at least, like that C- this year than I did last year.
It makes sense. What about quarterback? It seems as though, again, a limited scale that we've seen, that if it's Daniels, Nuss, Daniels, whatever, those guys are 1 and 2. Do you feel like Miles Brennan is not in the mix?
Yeah, it's one of those things I think you always have to tiptoe around, but things can change, and I hate always coming out too strong on these things, but that has been most of the word I've heard, throughout this lately, is that it does seem like it's more Nussmeier and Daniels, and that Nussmeier is the one everyone talks about from camp and spring and summer as the guy who has that it factor. But Daniels, of course, has that just extreme running that no one else really has, and that again, like this always could turn around because they do value trust. They do value someone who's not going to turn the ball over. But the word has just kind of been that it seems like Brennan is kind of a little bit back there in third place, and it's going to be interesting. Tomorrow's going to be interesting because this isn't big news or anything, but, I've got Pierre Nussmeier kind of banged up his ankle, I believe, a little bit yesterday. So I'm not sure if he's going to be okay. He's fine, but I don't know if he's going to play tomorrow. So maybe it gives us a better chance to see Brennan and Daniels out there. But, yeah, so to your question, that is kind of the sense I've got.
Brody Miller's with us. He's on Twitter at Brody A. Miller. Of course, you read his stuff at The Athletic. Anything else on offense that you have found notable so far?
Just the very low scale of what's notable. But, I just think Malik Neighbors becoming a slot receiver is just kind of an interesting thing to follow because, he kind of made his name last year on those kind of leap ball, jumping over defender catches, and he's really good at them. And he talked to us the other day about kind of, the staff decided, it wasn't his decision, but to move him inside, and that he beat kind of that mismatch on the inside. So I just think that's something interesting to follow, that, he could really be an interesting guy there.
Let's flip it over and talk about the defensive side. It's hard to tell with linemen when you're just seeing them hit sleds and things like that. But eye test, the defensive line passes it. I would assume you would agree. Any one in particular that you're most curious to see what role they fill and how this year?
Yeah. I think, the true answer is I am just all in on Mason Smith. Holy crap, breakout year. Like, I just think it's going to be one of those, like, by the end of this year, he is a Bednar candidate or, one of the best linemen in the SEC. So I am just really excited to watch, just what Matt House has in mind, how much he moves around, or does he stay in that spot and just dominate? I don't know. I think the thing I'm just so fascinated by, and I might just be completely wrong on this, but it's just that thing, and I think I might have said this to you on the show before, but Jaquelin Roy is simultaneously a first-round prospect, a guy who is on award list, and theoretically in a competition at nose tackle. And I think there's something really interesting there where you wouldn't think of him as like the most natural nose. He's a pretty athletic D tackle. Jacobian Guillory is probably more of a natural nose type, but it's like you're not going to – does that mean there's a scenario where Jaquelin Roy doesn't start? And to be clear, that's highlighting the strength of this D line. But I just really, really am intrigued to see what they do with Roy because he's a first-round talent who, like, I'm not exactly sure what his role is.
Well, to that point, look at B.J. Ojulari. I mean, he's we've all thought of him as an end opposite Ali Gay, but the other day when we were out there, he was working with the linebackers. So, and Ojulari essentially said that, didn't he? That he's kind of working more of a stand-up role. So, are we to believe like we're going to see more 3-4 with Ojulari standing up?
Yeah, as much as they've said, we're multiple, everything they've ever shown us, which I'm sure there's a lot behind, but everything they've ever shown us is 3-4 with Ojulari as the outside linebackers. And yeah, Ojulari's always in that individual group with him, Xavier Carter, Desmond Little, which are the edge rushers. So yeah, no, I think the plan is for Ojulari to be a stand-up out to OLB. And to his credit, when Durante Jones kind of was actually given the keys the second half, the end of last year, you did see Ojulari play a little more stand-up outside linebacker, and looks really good doing it. So there's no doubt he has it in him, and you could argue that's actually going to maybe meet his potential more because he is so athletic.
Brody, most in the secondary, most to gain, most to lose in the scrimmage tomorrow?
Ooh, just tricky question because in a lot of ways I'm like, I don't know who's losing a job, but I really want to watch Sevyn Banks and Jared Bernard-Converse because I think it's fair actually to argue they're the two most important transfers in this entire team, and the two guys we haven't seen anything of, two guys with little injury questions, all that stuff. So I don't know if they have much to lose. Like, I think if both those guys are just solid, they're going to be the starters. It's fine. But I think that's what I'm following the most. But there is an argument that the safety battle does have something to lose in game because they do have three starters back there in Foucha, Jay Ward, and Major Burns. I am intrigued to see kind of how those guys shake up.
And that, look, I mean, you want to talk about Burns, Jay Ward, Foucha, Brooks, and then you could even throw in a guy who played at the end of the season last year in Sage Ryan in sort of that nickel role, sort of a nickel safety role. I mean, you got five dudes back there kind of battling over two or maybe three spots. It's for as much as we thought about that secondary because of the turnover, their numbers there may be as deep as anywhere on the team. Would you agree?
Especially in that middle area, right? The nickel safety area. Yeah, it is loaded. The idea that you could theoretically, it's the outside corner that I think concerns are valid. Because, well, for example, both Banks and Converse have injury issues at times. If one of those guys goes down, who knows how good Mekhi Garner is? And then, who's next? Demarius McGee. So I think the outside stuff is concerning. But to your exact point of how deep they are in that middle, I think what they would actually do is Greg Brooks would go out to the outside. He'd be a perfectly good outside corner, and you still have Sage Ryan, to your point, at nickel. So, yeah, I think that middle, that group that works with Kerry Cooks is fantastic, but outside corner is just kind of thin.
You thought over-under 7 yet?
Yeah, I hate it's so low that I do think over. I think 8's been my pick for most of the year because it's like, you think of it, if you literally go game by game, just literal, LSU was in theory probably at least a slight marginal favorite in 10 games, I'd say. I think so, maybe 9, but and I don't think they go 10-2, but I think I think this is going to be a team that they can win those tough games. They can win some really tough games, maybe lose one they shouldn't. 8-4 has always been my thing. But I'm also the guy that's been too high on them each of the last 2 years.
Hey, look, man. Last thing, we'll get you out of here. The thing that maybe is the most intriguing is the Brian Kelly factor, right? There's this number being thrown out there that as a favorite, he's won 40 of his last 41 games at Notre Dame.
Wow.
So maybe are we not emphasizing enough the importance of having a coach in there that's going to be able to maximize his talent?
I think it's a really good point. I think that's absolutely something, it's been like my obnoxious, boring thing, and I believe yours as well. But just like, this reliability and sustainability is what makes great programs. And I think there is something to it. Just a guy who knows how to win a football game in those 50-50 things. I would love to go through that data because I wonder how much context there is most of the games they're favored might be like Boston College or, a struggling USC or something. I'm just curious. I have no idea. But, because they do kind of have a top-heavy than bottom-heavy schedule. But, yeah, I am with you. I think you're going to see an increase in the I don't know how to put it, just the less mistakes, I think is the better way to put it under Kelly.
You mean they'll actually get plays in and not have the quarterback looking at the sideline perplexed?
I really don't think we've given enough credit to how insane that was. That was a year-long problem. That was bonkers.
Brody, we saw them calling timeouts coming out of kickoffs.
Coming out of timeouts, I think.
Probably.
I think there was one time there was a timeout. Yeah, it was wild.
Yes, they were very, very poorly coached. And that is going to improve. I don't think anybody doubts that's going to improve. How much does that factor into the win-loss column? That will be a fascinating storyline to watch. Brody Miller, you can follow along. He's on Twitter at Brody A. Miller. Read his stuff at The Athletic. We appreciate it, man. See you out there tomorrow.
Thanks always, man. Take care.
All right, bud. Be well. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020. Eye care, eye wear, eye surgery. Remember, get your family's eye exam scheduled over at the Williamson Eye Center. Any of their locations. 2 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. You've got Gonzales, Denham, Zachary, New Roads, now in Lutcher as well. Eyewear. Buy glasses. Buy one pair, get the second pair 50% off all this month at the Williamson Eye Center. And, of course, eye surgery. Maybe it's LASIK. Maybe it's PRK. Maybe it's a lens replacement. Maybe it's a brand-new surgery that Dr. Blake Williamson has introduced to Louisiana, which he has done many times over and gone and lectured all over the world as a result because of his advances in ophthalmology. No matter your age or refractive issue, you want to see 20/20 without contacts or glasses, Dr. Blake Williamson can make it happen. 924-2020 or williamsoneye.com. That's williamsoneye.com. All right, y'all, let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, we'll go around the SEC. NFL apparently is reportedly making a TV scheduling change that I don't like. I want to get to that. We'll go around the SEC. Taylor Calandro in 15 minutes, a little Bourbon Dictionary. We will get your Saints camp report from Maddy Hudak in 30 minutes from right now. Jam-packed, lock-loaded. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Of course, our Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. And tonight and every Tuesday, excuse me, it's not Tuesday. It's Wednesday. Tonight and every Wednesday is trivia night and themed trivia tonight. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Never seen either one of them, but those are the themes tonight. If you love those shows, get by Pluckers tonight, 8 o'clock, either location, live action trivia. Get your team together. Go test your Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul knowledge and win Pluckers gift cards. And remember, every single team, win or lose, you get to spin the prize wheel. So maybe it's Pluckers food, maybe it's gift cards and other things from great businesses around town. There's tons of swag to win. Every single team will win something, even if you don't win a round at Pluckers. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine and carry out or delivery. Trivia tonight at 8 o'clock at Pluckers. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Vizzy, the first hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C. It just hits different.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
The NFL reportedly is going to be playing games now on Black Friday, starting in 2023. I really don't like that. John Oran of the Sports Business Journal, he's the guy who yesterday broke the story that ESPN will not be carrying Big Ten games on the next schedule. Stunning that he scooped ESPN on a story that ESPN will not be carrying games. But John Oran of the Sports Business Journal tweeted earlier today and reported this morning that the NFL is adding a Black Friday game to its schedule. So that's going to start in 2023, and Amazon will carry the game. Of course, Amazon Prime already has the new Thursday Night Football package. That package, though, does not include the Thanksgiving. Any of the 3 games on Thanksgiving, those are televised by the traditional partners, Fox, CBS, and NBC throughout the day on Thanksgiving. So Friday, the Black Friday starting in 23, will be an Amazon Prime stream game. If you're wondering, it will be an afternoon game. This is, for years, the NFL has not been able to play games on a Friday night because of its antitrust exemption. Obviously, high school football is designated for Friday night, and there's always been sort of an agreement, a gentleman's agreement of sort with college and the NFL, that college wouldn't play games on a Sunday during the NFL season. NFL wouldn't play on Saturday during the college season. So whenever the college regular season ends, you start to see the NFL play games on Saturday as they do into their postseason. But this is a little disappointing. Probably not that big of a deal because it's one game. But still, college football really has created a nice foothold, a nice niche on Black Friday. And it was kind of always that LSU-Arkansas Black Friday game. I know the Big 12 would play a Black Friday game, typically Nebraska, Colorado. Now, neither of those teams are in the Big 12 anymore. But you even look at last year, you had a ranked Boise State team against San Diego State. You had Kansas State against Texas. You had a Big 12 game. You had a ranked Iowa team at Nebraska. You had Cincinnati, who was ranked 4th in the country, on the road at East Carolina. That was a big game at the time with playoff implications. You had the Missouri-Arkansas game. You had Colorado at number 19 Utah. You had another ranked team with NC State hosting North Carolina. You had the Apple Cup with Washington State. You had TCU, Iowa State, so you had a Big 12 game. I mean, there were some good games. But college football has carved out a way to make Thanksgiving weekend a football-filled weekend where you have Thursday, Thanksgiving, NFL, 3 windows, then Friday, a day full of college football. Saturday, you go into a college football, and then Sunday, NFL, and Monday, your Monday Night Football game. So the NFL kind of steps on it a little bit going to that the Black Friday game starting in 2023. I don't like the midweek games in the NFL anyway because of the short week and how quick of the turnaround it is. Every team is obligated to play them. I think it's such a farce that the NFL continues to trumpet this idea of player safety and trying to cut down on CTE, but they continue to their actions don't map to that as they continue to have shorter rest and all this stuff, different stuff, which suggests that they're not actually caring about player safety. But all of this is collectively bargained. They're going to try to make as much money as they can, and no one's going to complain when they go cash those checks. But Black Friday in 2023 is going to get a little more crowded with the addition of an NFL game. All right, Taylor Calandro is going to join us for a little Bourbon Dictionary here in about 7 minutes from right now. Remind you about GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans. That's GMFS Mortgage. How about a cash-out refinance? I mean, right now is a time where a lot of people are maybe looking to do home improvements. This is coming toward the end of the summer. The kids are going to be out of the house, back at school, so the house is empty for bulk of the day. Maybe you want to remodel the kitchen or remodel that bathroom. Great time to do it right now. Use the equity in your home for a cash-out refinance to use that cash to do that project. GMFS, they can walk you through it. Get in touch with a local loan officer. Just go to the website, gmfsmortgage.com. Tap the loan officer tab at the top of the page. They'll get you started. GMFS Mortgage, the number 1 local lender in Louisiana, number 11 in the entire country. That's GMFS Mortgage. GMFS Mortgage, changing lives. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Missouri Tigers.
All right, Missouri has its starting quarterback. Eli Drinkwitz is named Brady Cook, the starter. The decision comes just 8 days into preseason camp and 3 weeks before the season opener against Louisiana Tech, September 1st. Cook's a redshirt sophomore, played in 5 games last year, taking over for Connor Bazelak, who transferred to Indiana. Cook beat out redshirt freshman Tyler Macon and former Mississippi State transfer Jack Abraham for the job.
The Florida Gators.
Florida junior wide receiver Ricky Pearsall. He joined the team in May after 3 years at Arizona State. He suffered a foot injury in practice this week and is in a walking boot. He will be out for an indefinite amount of time. Florida already had limited depth at receiver, which necessitated bringing in Pearsall through the transfer portal. He was the Sun Devils' leading receiver a year ago with 48 catches for 580 yards and 4 touchdowns as a third-year sophomore.
The Auburn Tigers.
Anders Carlson, Auburn's 6th-year kicker. You might remember he's coming off a major injury and an extended recovery. He tore his ACL during an onside kick attempt November 13th against Mississippi State. Had surgery shortly thereafter and an extensive recovery. Not quite yet back to peak form, but according to Brian Harsin, is tracking toward being back to his old ways when the season gets underway in less than 4 weeks. Carlson has handled the place-kicking duties the last 4 seasons, and he's 3rd on Auburn's career scoring list. Carlson underwent surgery for that torn ligament 3 days after the injury occurred and is expected to be ready for the start of the season.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
After winning the first national championship in program history, Ole Miss baseball coach Mike Bianco has officially been rewarded with a contract extension. New deal extends Bianco through 2026. It'll pay him $1.625 million annually. The annual compensation will increase with a series of performance incentives as well. So Bianco went from essentially being fired when they showed up in Baton Rouge in May to winning a natty and now being extended.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
And South Carolina basketball guard Abrima Deba will miss the entirety of the upcoming season with a torn Achilles tendon. He's a transfer from Coastal Carolina. He's already undergone successful surgery for the injury. He didn't even arrive to campus until July 9th. He was home in Sweden. He's a 6'6 guard. He'll have at least 1 more year of eligibility remaining. He started 57 games over the past 2 seasons at Coastal. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products, official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers, the New Orleans Saints, the New Orleans Pelicans, and the ULL Ragin' Cajuns. All right, quick break. Wrap up hour number 1 with Bourbon Dictionary. Taylor Calandro joins us next. Stay here.
AFR.
Looking for dinner plans tonight? Rouse's can certainly help you out. A grocery store? Yes, because when you walk into Rouse's, walk in and go to your left, and you'll see all of the prepared foods that they have at Rouse's. You want seafood? Check. You want chicken? Check. You want sushi or other Asian-inspired food? Check. Rouse's has it all. It's hot. It's fresh. You want a hot lunch or dinner for the whole family? Rouse's can take care of you every single night. I love walking into Rouse's because they have everything. And listen, if you don't have time to do all your grocery shopping, no worries. Rouse's helps you out with that as well. Go to the website, rouses.com, download the app. They have delivery and pickup options. So go to the app, pick out your items. They'll go shop for you. When you pull up, they'll bring it out. Or if you can't get to Rouse's, they have delivery options as well. It's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Learn more at Rouses.com or just walk into any Rouse's location today. Rouses.com. Rouse's. This feels like home.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Hunt and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
Wrapping up hour number 1, Taylor Calandro joins us from Calandro's Talk Some Booze. Get your questions in. You know how. How are you, dude?
Good, Matt. What's happening?
What's new over there at the place?
We have a couple new things. Not necessarily new. I sent you a picture of it a couple weeks ago, and I didn't talk about it last week.
Nope.
Chicken cock rye finished in Caribbean rum barrels.
Is this the Island Rooster?
Yes.
Okay, there it is right there if you're watching. So chicken cock is it's a real thing. It's whiskey. It's called chicken cock. And
real good whiskey.
I've never had chicken cock.
You serious, bro?
Yeah, seriously.
We talk about chicken cock all the time. You've never had it.
I have not tried chicken cock.
Okay.
The first time you were on the show, these were the exact words that you said. And now I'm just repeating them. No doubt turning myself into a GIF.
What are you talking about?
Because I just said I have not tried chicken cock.
Yes, right, yeah. That was the whole gig. So you seriously have not tried the liquid?
Not. I seriously have not.
Oh, my gosh.
Had a sip of the whiskey chicken cock.
Yes.
No.
Let's be mature.
I'm looking at you here, fella.
You need to see if Josh has behind the bar at Oliver Twist tonight. Either the rye or the regular bourbon. Just try it. It's super solid. But I haven't got a chance to try the Caribbean rye. It's pricey, $200.
Oh wow, that is pricey.
Yeah, and I haven't really read the specs on it either. I don't know if it's an older whiskey or not. I'm very interested to try it because it is a rum barrel rye, I mean, that's basically the same thing spec-wise as an Angel's Envy rye, and then there's a couple other ones. But Angel's Envy rye is the one people always think about, and that's the one that it's going to get compared to. So I'm anxious to try it. I also put out some Old Elk Infinity Blend.
Okay.
That's on the shelf right now. It's $150.
I think we talked about it last week. That's one that I would say, for me, would be worth the spend.
Yes. And tomorrow we're getting Old Pepper Single Barrel Select from the state of Louisiana, selected a barrel. Okay. Old Pepper Rye Single Barrel. And if you haven't had Old Pepper Rye, the Single Barrel is fantastic. It's a good little rye. And Pepper is one of the oldest distilleries in Kentucky. It might be the oldest. It's got a cool history. Go to their website. They have like a 10-minute video. James E. Pepper, go watch that video. It's very cool. It tells you the history of the distillery.
All right, get some questions here. By the way, tonight, Scone and Tea will be at Oliver Twist. They always do a break-even bottle, which they basically take a rare or allocated whiskey and sell it for pours at their cost. Tonight, it's a Barrel Craft Spirits. It's a Dovetail Gray Label. Have you had this?
I've had one of the. I think they have multiple Dovetails.
Yeah, I mean, I've had Dovetail, which is like the green sort of teal label, but this is the gray label. It's 131 proof.
That's I think it's the older one, and I haven't got a chance to try it. So what are they asking for it over there?
Well, that's going to be $11 a pour tonight. So I'm looking forward to getting into it and giving it a try. So that's tonight over at the Oliver Twist.
That sounds like a pretty decent deal. I think it's a pretty high dollar bottle. So
hey man, if they're doing $11 on a break even, you better believe that's at least a $200 bottle of whiskey.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right. Greg Lehman said, asked Taylor, has Calandro's always had an extensive alcohol selection? If not, why did y'all expand into that market?
I've been here for 33 years. Almost. It's been like this since I've been around. That's actually a really good question. I'm not going to answer it that way. We have greatly expanded our spirits and beer to conform to the market. We have always been a big purveyor of wine. My Uncle Charlie has been doing wine for a long time. We've always been known for wine. We've never really been necessarily known for spirits and beer that much. But I'd say in the last 10 years or so, we've really, really stepped it up. And I think it has to do with my interest in it. My dad is very passionate, and he loves it too. He was on the grocery side before, and he switched over to alcohol. And since he switched to alcohol about 10 years ago, I mean, he still does both. He loves the alcohol side of the business. So it's a fun industry too.
Got about 2 minutes, so let's go rapid fire. We got a bunch of questions. Brian Chandler asked Taylor, Calumet or Old Forester 1897?
I will not say no to a Prohibition Series Old Forester. So anything Prohibition Series from Old Forester is good.
I agree. Brett DeGros said, is Calumet worth the price?
Yeah, it's good, man. It's been such a long time since I've tried that stuff. I tried that like 5 or 6 years ago. From what I remember, it was good for the price.
Billy Mathern, any insight on what we can expect from Goose Island's Bourbon County Stout on Black Friday? I know you're a beer guy.
Yeah, I would not expect. So Bourbon County Stout is when they release every Black Friday. They've been doing it forever. That's like the original barrel-aged beer in the country, is their claim. But the last few years have been very light as far as allocations to Baton Rouge, so I really don't know the answer to that yet. We don't know until a couple weeks out. So.
Jamie Perk asked Taylor, any pointers on moonshine, or is it just a novelty?
If he's talking about store-bought moonshine, it's a novelty. Moonshine made in the woods still, I'd highly suggest it.
Let's see. This is from Jim Bob, who's got it's Redbreast single pot still Kentucky Oak Edition, 101 proof. Send me a picture of it. I guess he got a bottle. Have you had it?
Ooh, no, I've never even heard of that. I don't know if that's new or not. The Redbreast Kentucky 101.
I'll send you the picture he sent me. Hey,
I love Redbreast.
Last thing, 20 seconds from Jay, who said, ask Taylor if he knows anything about Teeling small batch Irish whiskey.
Teeling is very, very good. And I like Irish whiskey. And they're all fairly similar, but Teeling's a good Irish whiskey.
He is Taylor Calandro from Calandro's. Going to have to join us here for Bourbon Dictionary every single Wednesday on a Whiskey Wednesday to get your booze questions answered. We appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, man. Thanks.
All right, man. We'll talk next week. It's after further review. Maddy Hudak, Saints Camp Report, next.
AFR.
Got a text yesterday from a listener said, hey, man, just left the brand new Relief Windows showroom, which, as I keep reminding you, is now open on Airline Highway in Prairieville. So you go south on Airline into Prairieville, so you cross 42 into Prairieville, just look to your right. I mean, just a couple hundred yards on the right. You cannot miss it. He said, had an awesome experience. They're coming out to give me a quote. He was going for windows, didn't even realize they do siding as well. And I say it every day, but let me really hammer it. Relief Windows is windows, doors, and siding. That's right. Hardy plank or vinyl siding, they do it all at Relief Windows. They will nail every single piece of siding, no staples, so it's going to last longer. And you can essentially, in roughly 2 weeks, transform the exterior beauty of your home. It's durable, it's long-lasting, it lasts in color, there's great variety as well, comes finished in your favorite color. Ask about the siding at Relief Windows. Learn more, reliefwindows.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. Never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there.
Crime has serious consequences, but know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI, you still have rights. Let the law. 1111, your law firm for a lifetime.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors. Unfortunately, too many unlicensed requirements. Doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult. .org for more information. Licensed
disinfected work environment. Serving the New Orleans and Bayou. Follow CBC. Says senior living, restaurants, and Service Master Elite. Get your op. Germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's a follow-up appointment. This isn't advanced care. This is Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Is Sportscenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news. The Browns plan to start quarterback Deshaun Watson in the preseason opener Friday against the Jaguars as the NFL appeal to extend Watson's 6-game suspension for violating the personal conduct policy is pending. Watson will not be able to play if he is suspended indefinitely for at least a year. The league is seeking a lengthy suspension because of what it called Watson's egregious and predatory behavior toward women. Dolphins and Buccaneers held their first of 2 joint practices today. These practices are huge for Miami QB Tua Tagovailoa as he enters a make-or-break season, believes Canty and Carlin co-host Chris Canty.
It's an opportunity for Tua to get as close to live game reps as he possibly can in terms of the overall speed, going up against an unfamiliar defense and a defense, quite frankly, that was one of the best in all of football the past 2 seasons. So I think there are a lot of things that we can look for from Tua in these joint practices. He can work on his pocket presence, his timing with his receivers.
Baseball, the Tigers fired Executive VP and GM Alex Avila. Detroit's got the second worst record in the American League.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt. I am sweating. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Some sharps really high on this LSU football team. We'll get to that. And Ian Book talking about his former coach, Brian Kelly. That's coming up here in just a little bit on AFR. All throughout Saints camp, we've been very pleased to have Maddy Hudak join us each day to give us our Saints camp report. She was down there again today as the Saints are back on the practice field, and Maddy joins us now on the show. We appreciate it as always. Maddy, how are you?
I'm good. It's always a good day to watch Michael Thomas keep getting better.
Okay, so let's start there, obviously. I had meetings this morning, like son back in school, meeting with the teacher, all that stuff, and I'm scrolling Twitter, and it's just like, touchdown Michael Thomas, touchdown Michael Thomas. Like, okay, set up what they were doing today and how he had a big day.
I mean, he had 3 touchdowns thrown by Andy Dalton. It's really hard to say, that he's just not this standout at this point. He had a really good fade over Justin Evans, and at the same time kind of snagging a lot of passes on the sidelines. Bradley Roby had really strong coverage against him. That's kind of the most fascinating part. It's not the situation where he's separating so much as he's just a big physical guy, and you can guard him, and you might actually be in phase and close enough to try to knock the ball out, but he's just so imposing at his size that there's really just no way to guard him. They've tried, Roby, they tried a Debo against him. Werner, try to go up against him as well. That ankle doesn't seem to be bothering him whatsoever at this point. And him and Dalton, very solid connection.
I did ask you yesterday about Andy Dalton, and I'm curious now, having another day to see him, what you thought about Andy Dalton.
I think Andy Dalton, believe it or not, is a luxury for the Saints to have. The fact that Jameis Winston went down, and really, quite honestly, nothing has changed on the offense. He threw 5 touchdowns today. Wow. He's very decisive. He's quick at getting the ball out. He seems to understand the offense really well, and he's come in relief in these situations before. He came in Dallas and in Chicago. He's also been a starter who's just taken his team to the playoffs. But him and Thomas just finding each other. Jameis Winston should be good to go by week 1, but it's one of those things that if he's not, and I'm not saying that, I really think the idea is that it'll be absolutely fine, but it's a very different feeling than, who out of Taysom Hill, Trevor Siemian, and might it be Ian Book kind of thing last year, kind of like the wide receiving group not really having a standout. Andy Dalton is someone that you're really lucky to have as your backup quarterback, and it really, if nothing else, also shows how valuable Michael Thomas is with these backup quarterbacks that the Saints have now seen several times in the last 3 seasons.
Maddie, I'm glad you brought up the receiving core. Thomas is a given. I think we know what Jarvis Landry will be. People are excited about Chris Olave. What about a guy like Deontay Hardy, who at times has been really important to this team? How's his camp going so far?
So he's had a fascinating battle with C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I'd say it's kind of rivaling, that Thomas Adebo back and forth. They're both so quick initially that just chasing him around on the field is really difficult. It's really easy for him to kind of get lost in a crossing route. I always think that he's been a really formidable receiver. You think back to, before the Buccaneers game where they basically altered their game plan around Deontay Hardy because they could not stop him. The only issue is that he's a little bit undersized, but at the same time, he's not going to be taking on, that same workload and responsibilities of last season. You think about, I guess Marquez Callaway was considered wide receiver 1, but he doesn't draw any type of coverage that Michael Thomas would, or Chris Olave, or Jarvis Landry for that matter, or really Taysom Hill for that matter either. So when he's going up against, double coverage, really big physical guys, that's where I get worried about his durability. But he is the fastest receiver on this team, and that works really well with someone like Jameis Winston, who we know can launch it pretty deep.
Yeah. I'll flip to defense in a second. One more on the offensive side. I did want to ask about Taysom. We heard from him yesterday, and he's talking about, taking it easy with the ribs. Anything that we've been able – and he also, Maddie, kind of talked about the transition and learning tight end. What have you been able to notice from Taysom and sort of what they're asking him to do?
I'm not sure what else there is for him to learn because when he's lined up there, you can just see the physical mismatch. I actually went and looked up his size compared to Adam Trotman. He's 6'2", he's listed at 221, but that was his listed weight last year when he definitely was a lot smaller, losing that upper body weight for competing for quarterback. Adam Trotman is 6'5", 253, and that's really surprising to me because Taysom is just such an imposing guy, and more importantly, he's so fast for someone his size. He's so quick off the line of scrimmage. He recorded a touchdown today, and it was like he blinked and you missed him. And you really, I'm not making any type of comparison to Jimmy Graham, but the last player I can think of where it does not matter if you're 3 people around him, kind of like George Kittle dragging Marcus Williams by his face mask down
Please don't
the
remind us.
sideline that one game. Yeah, well, I'm from San Francisco, so it haunts me. But like Taysom Hill is, New Orleans has had a tight end problem on defense these last few years, and I really think opposing teams are going to have a tight end problem finding someone that physically matches up with someone that's as quick and as imposing as Hill.
She's on Twitter at Maddy Hudak _94. You can find her written work at Saints Wire. It's MADDYHUDAK _94. Let's flip it over to defense. I've been here, Maddie, a lot focusing on linebacker because I think that's just continued to be a growing concern. Pete Werner was out today. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so it looks like he's suffering from a groin injury, according to Dennis Allen after practice, which is something that I believe was bothering him earlier in camp. It's just kind of given us, I think we were talking about that linebacker depth, and is it sufficient behind Pete Werner and Demario Davis? Kind of like, they were immediately forced to evaluate the quarterback room. That kind of happened at linebacker, and Caden Ellis stepped in really well today. He had 2 run stops in Alvin Kamara and a pass breakup on Lucas Kroll. Every time he comes in, I notice him. Him and P.J. Williams last season would blitz quite often together. I think that he is really a solid depth piece. Kiko Alonso's kind of flash in the pan that it was. I've always thought that Caden Ellis is probably, the 3rd best linebacker out of that core. So granted that they only run 2 linebackers out there, and they have been running, I mentioned that, more base with 3 linebackers these last couple weeks. And it just kind of looks like that's a very easy adjustment to slot in Ellis into Warner's role. Who, Dennis Allen did speak really highly of having a more, heavy coverage role as a will linebacker this season. But their run defense, a lot of it was run defense today. And it's not just the linebackers. The secondary is really eager to stop the run. So I genuinely think, not knowing really what the trajectory for Werner is, I am really excited to see what he goes into this season. But I'm a little more comfortable with that room today than I was yesterday, by that sense.
Do you believe, we saw DeMarco Jackson obviously is going to IR. His rookie season's over. That's for those that don't remember, rookie 5th round pick out of Appalachian State. Do they have enough numbers there, Maddie, or do they need to add another body sometime when cuts start happening or via trade or something along those lines?
It would be a position to watch, absolutely, because, like I said, Caden Ellis is a good option, but if Pete Werner's out for a long time, is Caden Ellis, ready to step into a full starting role? We've never really seen him do that. And really, Zach Vaughn is kind of just an invisible player to me at this point. I'm not sure if he's out there or not, to be quite honest with you. And Andrew Dowell and Chase Hansen hold up fine, but with Carl Granderson actually coming on really strongly at that defensive end role, kind of making up for those concerns, with health with Davenport and Peyton Turner, I would kind of agree that linebacker would be the one that if there's someone that hits the waivers, if there's someone that gets cut, this is definitely, just bringing in bodies and seeing how they fit with this defense, because there's a lot of different fits, which means that, there are a lot of different linebacker types that I think they could work with.
Maddie, you said Granderson having success. Is Granderson starting opposite Cam Jordan right now? How's the DN rotation working?
Yeah, he's been taking first-team reps. He took them all today. He blew past Trevor Penning for a sack today and beat Hurst on another rep as well. He mentioned a couple days ago that he had put on a lot of weight, something like 20 or 30 pounds, and you can tell. I mean, he's been on this team for a while, and what he offers that Turner and Davenport don't is durability. And that's, sometimes when it's not a good player, it's not the best idea, but Granderson has shown capable of stepping into that role. David Onyemata had a really good camp today. And then Tano Passanyoung to me has always been someone that can slot in wherever. But with Turner and Davenport not getting much looks in camp, it has allowed someone like Granderson to really make a case to be that starter.
She is Maddy Hudak, again on Twitter at Maddy Hudak _94, MADDYHUDAK _94, giving us our Saints camp reports for as long as the Saints are in camp. They are off on their travel day is going to be, help me here, I'm looking at it. They're going to practice tomorrow.
I believe it's Friday is their travel day. Yeah, they practice tomorrow and then travel to Houston Friday.
Okay, so they have I'm looking at it now. They have a walkthrough Friday, travel to Houston. They'll play the Texans on Saturday. So we'll look forward to chatting again tomorrow. One final practice before the Saints head over to Houston. Maddie, we appreciate it. Thanks as always.
Thank you.
All right, be well. It is After Further Review. We're brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Tell you every single day, do business with someone you know. That's us. That's Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Last night we had open house at Drew's school at St. Lillian, and one of the faculty members came up to me and said, hey, I wanted to let you know we had a leak in our roof, and we called Hudco. The previous homeowner had gone up and just nailed a shingle up there, and it was leaking. Well, our repair crew went and found it. A total roof replacement wasn't needed. They just needed a repair. Got to it quickly. Left us a 5-star Google review. From the smallest repair to the largest commercial building roof replacement, Hudco can help. We are local. Say it every day. Do business with someone you know. That's me and Terrio and Richard Tilley and our whole team at Hudco Roofing. HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Okay, quick break. When we come back, I mentioned a couple of former players under Brian Kelly, now with the Saints, talked about their former coach. That, and there are there's some sharp money, bullish on this LSU team. We'll get to that when we come back. It's AFR.
AFR.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off new Ford F-150s. We have new 2021 F-150s on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Citizens Bank and Trust hope to add to your football party budget this year with a $5,000 national grand prize or a $1,000 local cash prize. Register for your chance to win at 1045ESPN.com. Best of luck and happy tailgating from Citizens Bank and Trust and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Looking forward to a good night tonight, man. Scone and T returns to Oliver Twist. We'll be there, T-Bob and I, 7 o'clock. So I'll get out of here, jet over to Oliver Twist. 7 to 8 p.m. We'll do the show. If you can't be with us, you can join us live. If you're watching live on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, thank you. Please subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button. Helps all the algorithm stuff. And then if not on YouTube, on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge Facebook Live as well. You can watch us or always watch or listen on demand. Come on by, Oliver Twist. And then at 8 o'clock, of course, Pluckers Trivia Night, 8 o'clock tonight and every Wednesday at both locations, Nicholson and Bluebonnet. So get on by. Great night tonight. If you're looking for something to do, got plenty for you. Of course, Brian Kelly is entering year one here at LSU, and it was a common conversation that we had at SEC Media Days that got asked by everybody, obviously, about Brian Kelly and how the transition's going. And one of the things that I repeated often was, we're still getting to know Brian Kelly as well, because Brian Kelly showed up in December when he was hired, did the introductory press conference, and then we didn't see him again for like 3 months. he had to go so hard in rebuilding the roster through the transfer portal, recruiting that high school class, building his coaching staff, as we have now seen, turning over some 40 different positions within football ops. I mean, uprooting the entirety of the organization and relaying that foundation. He had a tremendous amount of work to do. He didn't even do a signing day press conference. That is unprecedented. So in many respects, like, we're still getting to know Brian Kelly as well, which is why when there are people who have played for, coached under, know Brian Kelly, I appreciate the perspective. And there's actually a couple of guys presently on the New Orleans Saints roster that played for Brian Kelly at Notre Dame. One of them is running back Tony Jones. And earlier this week, Tony Jones had this to say about his former coach.
Coach Kelly's a great coach, man. Coach Kelly's going to bring some great stuff there, man. He's a great coach. You know, he's going to bring the great guys in there. And, like, all them kids going to get, like, some great culture and some great coaching. So, I mean, hey, the boys better be ready.
It's interesting to hear him say that he's going to bring in great culture and great coaching. It wasn't just X's and O's. So those boys better be ready. Great culture and great coaching. That's Tony Jones Jr., who was a very productive back in his time there at Notre Dame and is now entering year 2 with the New Orleans Saints. Same is his former quarterback, Ian Book, who was a draft pick of the Saints a year ago and is now entering year 2 with the Saints. Here's what Ian Book had to say today about Brian Kelly.
BK's great. I'm excited for him at LSU. You know, no stories really stick out more than just like game day when he's just screaming at me, and then at the end of the game we win something and it goes the right way, and he comes up to me. He's like, "This is what it's all about. You know, this is what happens when you don't fold. You keep fighting, and that's what we do here at Notre Dame. We win, and those are the moments that I'll remember. You know, he pushed me to be my best, and he gave me my opportunity to play. So excited to see LSU. I've never been up there. I also want to try to go to a game. So
Ian Book did play, of course, against LSU in a bowl game in that Citrus Bowl, where he came in relief, and it worked out for the Irish that day. But the guy was a 4-year starter under Brian Kelly at quarterback, and so you hear two guys who essentially speak to what the public perception of Brian Kelly is, but I'm not even going to say spinning it as a positive, essentially shining a light on it as a positive. I mean, Tony Jones very clearly saying those guys better be ready. Here comes a culture change. But he says, I love BK, love Brian Kelly. Ian Book, all the times that Brian Kelly was in my face screaming, but after the game, when we had won a game, said that's what it was for. The results are there. So we all have this impression of Brian Kelly as the red-faced screaming guy on the sideline, but what sometimes we forget are the results. Brian Kelly has been a head coach each of the last 32 college football seasons. He's entering his 33rd consecutive season as a head football coach. Dude has a lot of lessons, and it's one of the reasons I think there's a lot of people kind of bullish on Brian Kelly. This was Doug Kazarian from ESPN. They do their daily gambling show on ESPN2. And Kazarian was asked about LSU's win total. And we've talked a lot about that, and it varies a bit. They seem to have settled in at 7, but you're seeing the juice go up on LSU. I think to bet the over at 7, maybe it's something like minus 160. So you got to lay a lot to get that number, but it tells you that a lot of that money's coming in on the over. And here was what Doug Kazarian had to say about LSU and their win total this year.
I'm backing a bounce-back season for LSU, taking over 7 wins. And again, it's a regular season prop bet, so it's got to go 8-4 or better. But 6-6 or worse to lose, and I just don't think that happens with Brian Kelly coming to Baton Rouge. Say what you want about Kelly, he gets the most out of his teams. In the last 41 games, of course, all at Notre Dame, where he was favored, he won 40 of them. So 40-1 straight up. Maybe not covered them all, but he obviously took care of business. It was the games facing better competition, the national championship contenders, where they were overmatched. Here, that's why he went to the Tigers, to get better recruits, which he has, and transfers. I think LSU's in for a good season, although the SEC is up. Does have to face Arkansas, does have to face Tennessee, does have to face, of course, Alabama, and then also A&M. But I still like them. FBI has them favored in 9 of their 12 games. So I'll take over 7 wins for the Tigers.
That's another sharp taking over the number for LSU. And I default to this a lot, and it matters. There is no sport that we talk about where coaching matters more than football, period. We learned that in 2012 with Bountygate. Sean Payton had this great culture, great team leadership, great organization, do your job, all that stuff was lined. And Sean Payton left the building, and boom, the Saints were a mess. It matters. Head coaching matters in football. The last 2 years at LSU are a shining example of that. Ed Orgeron was a disaster. His program was a disaster. His teams on the field were a disaster. Quarterbacks looking to the sideline begging for a play, calling timeouts coming out of kickoffs. I mean, unimaginable chaos at a place the caliber of LSU. So how much is Brian Kelly worth to this team? I mean, they got questions, there's no doubt. You got quarterback issues, you got offensive line issues, you don't know who your outside corners are going to be, you're replacing all of your specialists, you've turned over your entire coaching staff. There's all that. All it's very true. But how much is Brian Kelly worth? Y'all, I mentioned Brian Kelly is entering his 33rd consecutive season as a head football coach. In the previous 32 years, can we agree that's a pretty big sample? 32 seasons is a pretty big sample. In 32 seasons, Brian Kelly has had 2 losing seasons. 2. His first year at Central Michigan, they were 4-7. And in 2016 at Notre Dame, they went 4-8. And he very quickly rebounded to go 10 wins, 12 wins, 11 wins subsequently. That's the outlier. What I'm telling you is there's a large enough sample size on Brian Kelly in his career to suggest if you think this team is going sub 500, you're crazy. The coach is too good. He's too competent. He wins the games he's supposed to win. And when he has a loaded deck, he's going to get you to that next level. That's why he's here. But the reason why you should maybe be optimistic or bullish on LSU is Brian Kelly. I got a 3-decade sample size to suggest it. All right, it's after further review. Got a thought? Let me know. You can always email me, matt@1045espn.com. You can tweet me at Matt Moscona.
Hey, Twitter world.
Thank you, Juice. You can jump in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. Or you can always text me in the 225 at 396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Quick break. We'll do overrated, underrated. We usually have Tigers in the pros. An era has come to an end in New Orleans. That's coming up in 32 minutes. We're glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. And remember, nights, holidays, weekends, it doesn't matter. If you're having an AC issue, they will come out. They will never charge you extra to come out nights, holidays, or weekends. Here's a 5-star Google review that came in from T. Gree, which said, I was having issues with my AC system. Called River City's 1 Hour Air. They came out the same day. My technician, Joseph Jakob, was excellent, very knowledgeable, patient, and informative. I really appreciate all the information he gave me, which helped me make a very important decision. I'm so thankful for this technician. Thank you, River City's 1 Hour Air. I highly recommend them, and actually added a smiley face emoji as well. The internet hates everything except River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. And if you have AC issues, you need River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, rolling through a Hump Day edition of AFR. The Tigers in the Pro. Tiger, who's been that also another debut for a former LSU baseball player in his professional debut, I should say. Muse will have all that coming up in Tigers and the Pros in less than 15 minutes from right now. Right now, though, overrated, underrated.
Overrated or underrated?
I personally think he's criminally underrated.
All right, Matt.
All right, Muse.
Overrated or underrated? Chili.
I love Chili's. Baby back ribs, 2 for $1.
Not the place.
No, not the place.
The food itself.
The food.
Chili. 2 for $20 is fire, though.
When somebody says chili, what's the first thing you think of?
Probably hot dogs.
Oh, okay.
Chili dogs. That or cold weather. Those are the top two.
Would have said Skyline.
Oh, okay. Ugh, gross.
But see, that's the thing, right? People from Cincinnati, I think the Skyline thing is a little overplayed, right? Don't they think? Or was it just Burrow that thought Skyline wasn't good?
I mean, no, I think everybody in Cincinnati normally, yeah, they love it, right?
Yeah, I've never had Skyline chili.
Either.
I like chili. I think chili is underrated. It is something that is easy to prepare. It's something that it's hard to mess up, and something that you can have in any weather, and is also really versatile. As you mentioned, you could put it on top of a hot dog as well. So I think chili largely is underrated?
Overrated or underrated? Brian Dawkins. Brian Dawkins?
Okay. Brian Dawkins. He's not in the Hall of Fame, is he? Check Brian Dawkins. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame. I think he's been on the ballot. I think maybe he was on the ballot this year. Okay. I learned this because my good friend Josh Ennis.
He is in the Hall of Fame.
Brian Dawkins is in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Okay. Good friend Josh Ennis, who worked in Philadelphia. When I would listen to a show, I learned this. In Philadelphia, Brian Dawkins is Jesus. Not like Jesus or equal to Jesus. In Philadelphia, Brian Dawkins is Jesus. The obsession that town has with that player is stunning. I mean, like here we...
Right.
And he's beloved and all that sort of stuff. But odd to see one player so captivate and in the entirety of that market. So in Philadelphia, Brian Dawkins is and a great player. So overrated. I mean, you're properly rated for the rest of the world. In the city of Philadelphia, overrated. He is not Jesus.
Overrated or underrated? Go-karts.
Do go-karts still exist?
I think so, yeah. They have like go-kart tracks, yeah.
I mean...
Those are like the fast ones.
Are there people that buy go-karts recreationally for around their home or neighborhood? I had a neighbor when I was a kid who had a go-kart.
Had a go-kart?
We'd ride it down the street, sidewalk, down to the school down the street, right in the parking lot, all that sort of stuff. It was fun when we were kids. Here's the thing about a go-kart. A go-kart is absurdly dangerous. And for that reason, it's overrated. Now, if you're doing the go-kart track at Celebration Station, wherever you want to have some fun, I have no problem with that. Have your fun, okay? But if we're talking about a go-kart on a street, to be that low to the ground, to have the possibility of flipping a go-kart, largely people are not wearing helmets or seatbelts when they're in a go-kart as well. The danger aspect of a go-kart makes a go-kart horribly overrated, unless if you are at a controlled setting like at a track. Go-karts, overrated.
Overrated or underrated? Neil Patrick Harris.
You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say Neil Patrick Harris is underrated. Legitimate question here. I'm not even joking. Is he gay?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Not that it matters at all.
Yeah.
But he played... It was Doogie Howser, of course.
Doogie.
He has done comedy. He has done dramatic acting. And he has managed to stay relevant. Most child actors don't. The reason I asked about if you were gay... Malcolm Gladwell's podcast, Revisionist History, they just did an episode. I love that podcast, by the way, if you're not a fan. It was a fascinating look at what the show Will and Grace did for our nation's perception of homosexuality. I don't mean this. I'm not a political guy. Don't care. It was a fascinating sort of social conversation. And what was interesting is the guy who played Will in the show is a straight man and played a gay man. And I think that's fascinating to be. You have got to be a great actor to do that. And I'm not sure about Neil Patrick Harris because I think he has kids.
He's gay.
He is a gay man, but I think he has kids. Either way, again, no judgment whatsoever.
Yeah.
Do you live your life? Be a good person. I think it's fascinating when a child actor who becomes famous when they're a child can maintain that throughout their life. Look at the Olsen twins, for example. What has become of them? You know, the other kids on Full House. You know what I mean? Like, look at Urkel. Child actors usually don't become great actors and really successful throughout their acting career. And Neil Patrick Harris has managed to do it. Like, I think he's really underrated.
To your point about Will and Grace, Neil Patrick Harris played Barney Stinson on How I Met Your Mother. He's a womanizer there. So, I mean, that's...
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
That's interesting, too.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Great show, How I Met Your Mother.
I never saw that.
It's really good.
But
Pretty funny.
But it was successful, too. It had a long run, didn't it?
Very long run. Very long run.
So that's the point, right? So you have sort of the reverse of the Will and Grace dynamic.
Yeah.
Which is, like, that's fascinating to me. Like, to be able... You have got to be good at what you do to be able to do that. right?
No, for sure. Overrated or underrated? Veal.
Oh, veal's underrated. I think people hate veal because it's like a baby cow and they think it's maybe bad or like they feel badly or it sounds gross. Like veal I would rather veal over chicken. I'd probably rather veal in many instances over fish. Now there's some fish I'm in the mood like I love a tuna steak. But veal, I think we demonize veal all too often, I think, because of the way it sounds and because it's a baby cow. But veal is excellent. Excellent.
Very good. Overrated.
Isn't veal a calf? Isn't that what it is?
It's a calf.
It's a baby calf.
Yeah. It's real tender meat.
You looked at me
really tender.
like I was off.
Oh, no. I didn't mean to do that. No. It's great. Had some Saturday. Overrated or underrated? Skee ball.
You know what? My initial inclination is to say properly rated because I love skee ball. Do you love skee ball?
I do. I enjoy it, yes.
Paul, do you love skee ball?
I can take it or leave it.
Okay. When you go to Celebration Station, are you going to play skee ball?
Probably not.
Oh. See, I would assume that that's the one thing that everybody feels like they can do. Because this is why it's underrated, by the way, even though everybody does it. Even if you're terrible, you're still going to score points.
That's
Even
true.
if you miss the top one, it's going to go in the low rung and you're going to get a point. You're going to get some validation on skee ball. That's why skee ball is great. Everyone gets a point on skee ball. Now, not everybody gets a trophy. And you may not win and get a whole bunch of tickets, but you're going to get validation every time on skee ball. That's why people love it.
It's a great game.
I like skee ball. Yeah.
A premier arcade game for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
That's overrated or underrated?
Hey, we're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. 75 years in business. Incredible. Michelli Weighing and Measurement. You can learn more at Michelli.com. ISO 17025 accreditation. They're all about making your business more efficient and more profitable. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Check them out. If you're looking for a career change in 2022 and beyond, Michelli is hiring. The stability of a company that's been locally owned and operated for 75 years and looking ahead to 75 more. Michelli.com. Baton Rouge, Lake Charles, and their New Orleans Harahan office all hiring right now. So if you're looking for a job, Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Go to Michelli.com, hit the careers tab right there at the top. You'll see the Apply Now tab. You can select the job that you're applying for. It's available to you there at Michelli.com. Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. All right, y'all, it's after further review. The Saints say farewell to a longtime New Orleans Saint, and they say farewell to a rookie whose rookie season has now come to an end prematurely. That's all coming up right after the top of the hour in about 17 minutes from right now. Also in hour number 3, I do want to get some thoughts in on Ricky Collins, the Woodlawn quarterback who's set to commit tonight. He's set to make his announcement at 7 p.m., and all accounts are that it's going to be LSU. So we'll talk a little about that and the latest on Deshaun Watson. I do not have any desire into going deep dive into that conversation, but just the latest because, of course, as we've said over and over again, the Saints play in Cleveland Week 16. And if Deshaun Watson is not there, it completely changes the dynamic of that game, which is why all Saints fans should be interested in that game. So we'll knock out a break. We'll come back. Muse will do Tigers and the Pros to wrap up hour number 2. Don't you move here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. You know what? I was thinking about this, Darren. Whenever we have these sort of major life events, Darren's been at the center of it. You know, when Erica and I got married and we were looking to buy our first home, Darren helped us buy that first home. He helped us find that home. You know, when Drew came along and we needed more space, Darren sold our first home. Sold it in a day, by the way. The first person that looked at it bought it. That's because he has a complete list of buyers ready to buy exactly what you're selling. But then he worked so hard to find the home in the neighborhood where we wanted to live. That's what Darren does. It's all about helping you get to whatever that dream, that goal, that next stage in your life is through real estate. Buying, selling, commercial, residential. Call Darren James. Get your home sold.
Think real estate. Think Darren James.
There it is. The extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Miller Lite has more taste and only one more calorie than Michelob Ultra.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
You can always text me in the 225 at 396-4400, 396-4400. Patrick Dorsey sent a text, said, Matt, on the LSU team, by the way, about 15 minutes ago or so, maybe earlier this hour, we played a clip from Doug Kazarian, who's a part of ESPN's Chalk and the whole betting series there through ESPN, who basically said one of his plays this year is taking LSU over their win total at 7, basically betting on Brian Kelly, who is 40-1 in his last 41 games when he's favored. That's not against the spread, just 40-1 straight up in the last 41 games where he's favored, saying essentially Brian Kelly's going to find a way to win 8 games. Patrick Dorsey texted and said, that's why I said this team had 6 wins with Coach O. Brian Kelly's 2 to 3 games better, so that's why I'd peg a 9-3 record, possible 10 wins if they get lucky on one. I've said that I think that's their ceiling. I think 9-3 is this team's ceiling for LSU. Because, and look, I've said that for a while now, and I think what we had with FPI earlier this week kind of bears that out. FPI had LSU pegged to be favored in 9 games this year. So I think that's the ceiling. I also, as I've said often, I don't think the ceiling is as high as many LSU fans hope it would be, because you do have a lot of questions on this team against a tough schedule. But I also don't think the floor is as low as some may say. That's why I've sort of settled in at 8-4, and I think that's how I think this season goes. And maybe they surprise us, have a really, really fine season, and get to 9 wins, or we get to 10 with a bowl game, and that would be a sensational year one. I think bouncing back after what they've had the past 2 years. But I do think we've got to measure what Brian Kelly is worth to this team. Y'all, LSU a year ago, do you realize this? The LSU football team that went 6-7 a year ago had 10 players drafted. 10. You had double-digit players drafted from a team that went 6-6 and then lost a bowl game, went 6-7. Like, that is coaching. So, having a competent coach in place, but having more roster questions, what does that mean? That's what we got to find out here. All right, it's after further review. Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Let's start in Major League Baseball. Last night, the Houston Astros 7-5 winners over the Texas Rangers. Alex Bregman in the 4-hole for Houston last night, 2 for 3. 2 runs scored. Both his hits were singles. Also drew a walk. So on base 3 times. Really solid night for Bregman. Started heating up for the All-Star break and has really kept it rolling after the average up to 251. Paul Gervais. How about this, Matt? You see this? Paul Gervais made his professional debut last night for the Single-A St. Lucie. That's in the Mets organization. Perfect inning of relief. Was up to 96 through 9 strikes out of 14 pitches.
Pretty good, man. So that was, let's see, credit Jacob Resnick with that tweet on the info. But a little bummed. Gervais is one of those guys. I mean, he said he was coming back and then gets plucked the next day. You can't hardly blame him for taking the money and going. But not surprised, man. He had an awesome year at LSU. Dude bet on himself. He told a story about how his JUCO coach told him, don't go to LSU, you'll never pitch there. Bet on himself, had a great year, and now he's in the Mets organization as a 12th round pick. So pulling for him for sure.
I was surprised he lasted till round 12, but
that's fair.
Yeah. Kramer Robertson, we've told you about the wild journey that he's had. Well, he was back in Memphis, as we told you yesterday, and yesterday was his first game, and it's a pretty darn good one. How about a solo homer for Kramer in the first game back with the Redbirds?
Got him.
That wasn't all.
That was a shot,
It didn't stop there. Kramer ended up 3 for 3. That homer, a double, drove in 2 runs and was hit by 2 pitches. So Kramer was on base 5 times in 3 official plate appearances last night.
Boy, that was a yak, dude. Left center.
Oh, he crushed it.
Into the bullpen. I mean, that was a...
Absolutely crushed it.
Park too there in Memphis, AutoZone Park. It's really nice. That's a great minor league park.
Never been. Earned himself player of the game.
No kidding.
To no one's surprise. Yes, he did.
Sure.
He did.
Sure.
Lyle Collins.
Hey!
He's back. How about that? Lyle Collins activated off the non-football injury list where he was placed at the start of camp with a back injury. He is now past the physical, cleared to practice today on the active roster. Now go protect Joey B.
Got to get Joey B back up. So Joey B was throwing passes. I was cleared to start lightly tossing yesterday. So
it's a great sign.
Yeah, well, he'll be fine. But man, just to see what Cincinnati did this offseason, adding a couple of starting offensive linemen. I mean, protect your franchise. I'm very glad you drafted Jamar Chase last year, and he was awesome. But go protect your franchise.
For sure. From one Tiger coming off the injury list, how about one going on? Russell Gage today exited Tampa Bay practice versus the Miami Dolphins, pulled up during one-on-ones with an apparent leg injury. Gage was able to walk off the field under his own power. As of 2 hours ago, still waiting on a formal diagnosis.
Oh, man. So nothing on soft tissue or what it could be?
Nothing yet. And
that's massive. I mean, Tom Brady has talked about how much they need Russell Gage to be involved in this offense. That's massive for Tampa.
Lastly, FedEx St. Jude gets underway tomorrow. Sam Burns will tee off at 8:21 Central Time, paired with Scotty Scheffler and Cameron Smith. Hell of a pairing there. He's not playing. It's a World Golf Championship event. Sorry. Yeah.
Where is he playing?
I don't know.
Oh, right.
We have 10 seconds. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Yeah, because as we learned,
that's not it.
You hate Curtis Thompson. All right, hour number 3 coming up next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawbillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. Go to the website, hit the promotions tab. Start there. You'll see all the offers that they have currently. How they keep you paying the lowest amount possible for the best tires on the road. Not only do they have manufacturers' offers, but then their in-house offers as well that bump that price even lower. Go to ShawbillsTire.com and hit the promotions tab. ShawbillsTire.com. Locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. Find that location nearest you. Shop tires online. Schedule service online. You can hit that chat function in the bottom right if you'd rather text than call. Easy. Hit the chat function, select the location nearest you, and in seconds, you're chatting with an associate at Shawbills for more than 50 years. Shawbills, we keep you rolling.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off new Ford F-150s. We have new 2021 F-150s on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 96 calories. It's Miller time.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Browns plan to start quarterback Deshaun Watson in the preseason opener Friday against the Jaguars as the NFL appeal to extend Watson's 6-game suspension for violating the personal conduct policy is pending. Watson will not be able to play if he is suspended indefinitely for at least 1 year. The league is seeking a lengthy suspension because of what it called Watson's egregious and predatory behavior toward women. 8 days after the league penalized the Dolphins for tampering with Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady, the teams held their first of 2 joint practices today. Plenty of eyes are on QB Tua Tagovailoa as he gets ready for his prove-it season in Miami. Tua needs to continue to build on the progress he's made this summer, says ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum.
Stack one good day on top of the next. Show command of this new offense. You have a new head coach, new play caller, lots of new weapons highlighted by Tyreek Hill. Go out. Don't let the ball hit the ground. Get in and out of the huddle. No false starts. Play good, clean football, and keep working towards opening day.
Baseball Tigers fired VP and GM Al Avila. Detroit's got the second worst record in the AL in a year. The team guaranteed nearly $250 million in free agency.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote Renter's Insurance at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. Let's ride.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Oh, by the way, it's Hump Day.
It's Hump Day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Saints signed KJ Costello.
Hump Day.
College football's greatest one-hit wonder.
It's Hump Day.
Had some fun with that in hour 1.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Would highly recommend you go back and check AFR on demand at the very start of the show today.
Hump Day.
We had Miyagi.
It's Hump Day.
We had Luke Skywalker.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We had Rachel Lee Cook from She's All That.
Hump Day.
We even had Chumbawamba.
It's Hump Day.
Brody Miller was here.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Ricky Collins set to announce in 2 hours.
Hump Day.
Scone and Tea in 2 hours as well, by the way.
It's Hump Day.
Got your Saints camp report, Maddy Hudak.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Muso screwed up the out to the last hour because he's high.
Hump Day.
Pluckers trivia tonight.
It's Hump Day.
All right, let's go. Hour 3, let's go. Muse will be with us as well today at Oliver Twist for Scone and Tea as he produces on site. You going to be okay?
Great, man.
Okay, we'll look forward to it. Rookie linebacker DeMarco Jackson. Saints placed him on IR. We learned that yesterday as we were kind of wrapping up the show. An unfortunate injury to the 5th-round pick out of Appalachian State. So he basically takes a redshirt season. His rookie season effectively is over, being placed on IR. And that stinks. We've talked about linebacker a lot. If you weren't here an hour ago to start hour 2, we had Maddy Hudak with us. We talked about the Saints linebacker position. Pete Werner was not at practice today. He's got a groin issue. I don't want to place that label on Pete Werner, but this is 2 years in a row now where he's battled through injuries. Hopefully he's healthy, ready to roll, to get out there on the field and to be productive for this team. But they're going to need Werner and Demario Davis to stay healthy. I will tell you, August the 16th, so today's the 10th. So in 6 days is the first cut down day for NFL teams. They cut from 90 to 85. So 32 teams will all cut 5 players. So you'll have 150 players thereabout in available. And the Saints they need to go dust off their old draft evaluations and start looking at that. My hope is 9th cut from 90 to 85, the August 23rd cut from 85 to 80, or if you're going to wait until August 30th, sort of the end of this month and the end of camp, when you got to get down to 53, the Saints are going to have to add a linebacker somewhere along the way. You just cannot look at what you have right now and feel confident, where you love DeMario Davis and you're excited about the future and the potential of Pete Werner, but after that, one of the most telling things that Maddy told us in a report earlier today, said Zach Bond is basically invisible, is the way she phrased it. She's like, I really don't even notice if he's there or not there. That is a bold statement for a guy as highly drafted as Zach Bond was, a guy who many had a first-round grade on until he got popped for a dilute sample at the Combine and ended up dropping into round 3 where the Saints took him. So he's got to find a way somewhere along the way, but after that, it's Andrew Dowell, it's Caden Ellis, it's Chase Hansen. It's guys that are depth pieces, not guys that you're going to count on to give you anything of significance. So, can you find that on the, after cut day? Maybe, but they're going to have to do something to add depth there. It's so interesting because the linebacker position for the Saints today, to me, feels a lot like cornerback did a year ago. Now, that resolved itself, but if you remember, and this is so wild because today the Saints is sort of the end of an era in New Orleans because Ken Crawley has signed with the 49ers. Schefter reported this. Others have it that Ken Crawley, former Saints cornerback, has signed a 1-year deal with the San Francisco 49ers. We'll see if he can make the team there. But Crawley has played in 55 career games with 25 starts, was undrafted, signed with the Saints in 2016, was released in 2019, bounced around that year, Miami, Vegas, Arizona, landing back with the Saints in 2020 in the COVID year, and then playing there last year as well. I mean, Ken Crawley has been sort of an enigma because he's a guy that has not played great and has been the bane of many Saints fan existence for a while, but they just couldn't get rid of him. I mean, you kind of throw him in that same category as Toast Thomas and Jason David and Brandon Browner. I mean, that was Ken Crawley when he was asked to be a boundary corner. He was just constantly burned. He was just overmatched. He was a step slow, a little too small, but he kept finding a way as a guy who could give you depth, could play multiple positions, could play in the secondary. He played in 55 career games, which is stunning for a guy who the perception is he gets beaten all the time. But when you think about what the secondary looked like a year ago at this time, we were all thinking Marshawn Lattimore is going to be suspended. And remember, Jackrabbit was a cap casualty. So you saw Jackrabbit walk out the door and you thought Lattimore was going to be suspended. We were literally sitting here thinking the opening day cornerbacks for the Saints were going to be P-Rob and Ken Crawley. That's what it was like. And then P-Rob up and retired in camp. And so then it was going to be Ken Crawley and Paulson Adebo, the rookie out of Stanford, who didn't play the year before, opted out due to COVID. I mean, that's how dire this was. Well, we know how it ultimately resolved. Lattimore was never suspended. They go trade for Bradley Roby, who's a really, really good player. Paulson Adebo plays out of his mind and higher than anybody would have thought. You, of course, have C.J. Gardner-Johnson in that nickel role. And then, as good as they all played last year, you go add Alontae Taylor this year. I'd argue that's the deepest spot on his defense is there in the secondary at cornerback. So it's amazing how quickly all that turned because you hit on a couple of draft picks. You got lucky with the Lattimore stuff. You traded for Bradley Roby. And I'm hopeful the Saints could turn a similar trick this year at linebacker. You need DeMario Davis to stay healthy. You need Pete Warner to take that next step. Maybe one of the guys blossoms like we talked about with Zach Bond. Maybe you do go find a diamond in the rough when the roster cuts start to happen. Maybe you go make a trade like you did a year ago to bring in Bradley Roby to give you some depth. However it shakes out. What we do know, though, is Ken Crawley's not going to be back with the Saints as he's now signed with the San Francisco 49ers. A really bizarre parallel, though, to what it was like a year ago at corner and what the Saints are dealing with this year at linebacker. Hopefully it works out as well this year as it did a year ago. By the way, after practice today, Dennis Allen did meet with the media. Michael Thomas had a sensational hour. Dennis Allen on the next step.
You guys have been watching him. The snaps that he's gotten have been pretty good. It looks like real football when he's out there playing, and so that's been good. And so now it's more about kind of increasing the volume as we go along. And Mike's been really good about every step of the process, and we'll keep going through it.
One of the things, I don't know that we'll see Mike Thomas in the preseason game on Saturday. We know we're not going to see Jameis. Ryan Ramczyk had a veteran day today, so he took the day off. One thing we maybe haven't really talked about much or at all is as far as preseason, where we focus so much just on the value of preseason for roster spots, 51, 52, 53, those guys trying to make the roster in those last few spots. But what about Dennis Allen? I mean, Dennis Allen, yes, he filled in for Sean Payton a year ago in the Miami game, but I'm sorry, against Tampa. It was the Sunday night game against Tampa. But Dennis Allen hadn't been a head coach since he was with the Raiders, and that wasn't a great look. I mean, this kind of is a good sort of test drive for him as well.
I think these preseason games are important. We all benefit in some form or fashion from every one of these games. And so yeah, for me as the head coach, going through that process with this staff, making sure that all the communication is exactly the way that we want it. Look, it goes even as far as to, making sure that the travel is done exactly the way we want it. And so everything gets evaluated. We make whatever tweaks we need to make and kind of go from there. So yeah, it's important.
Saints coach Dennis Allen after practice on Wednesday. Remember, Saints will have another practice on Thursday. Then they have a walkthrough and a travel day on Friday before they play in Houston on Saturday against the Texans, their first preseason game of this offseason. All right, it is after further review. We're glad you're with us. Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers. We'll knock out a quick break. Stick around. Lots still to cover, including the latest on Roquan Smith. Also, is Deshaun Watson about to be suspended? And Ricky Collins, the four-star quarterback out of Baton Rouge Woodlawn, set to make his announcement in about an hour and 45 minutes. What will it mean for the Tigers if he does, in fact, pull the trigger to stay home in Baton Rouge, as it seems he will? All that's still ahead on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network. You've heard me say that for several years now. A couple of years ago, the Baton Rouge General became this market's exclusive member of the Mayo Clinic Care Network. And what that means is that your physician here at the Baton Rouge General gets direct access to the Mayo Clinic, to their world-renowned physicians and research, clinical collaboration. Your physician here can collaborate with the experts at the Mayo Clinic on your case at no extra cost to you. That's what it means to be part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network. The Baton Rouge General has that exclusivity here in this market. You can learn more at brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. Their Bluebonnet campus, the Mid-City location, the Ascension Neighborhood Hospital, and, of course, the Baton Rouge General Express Care locations all over the city, which is walk-in urgent care 7 days a week. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital, part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network.
For over 53 years, customers have been heading to Happy Town for the Corval Toyota experience. Why? Because they choose to get an outstanding price and amazing customer service. Want the same and get treated like family? Then Corval Toyota in Opelousas is the dealership for you. Corval vehicles have been cruising around Acadiana for 5 decades. Corval Toyota is here to stay, and we want to keep you rolling. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Right now, my intentions are to sign Roquan to this team. And we're going to take it day by day. And at the end of the day, we got to do what's best for this organization. But my intentions are to make sure Roquan Smith's on this team.
That is Ryan Poles, the GM of the Chicago Bears. We did talk yesterday about Roquan Smith, who demanded a trade. My point will continue to be, if there's a possibility to acquire Roquan Smith, if you're Mickey Loomis, you got to make that phone call. It would certainly not be cheap when you look at precedent of what it would cost. You're probably talking about multiple number ones, a former top 10 pick, who's a two-time All-Pro in his prime. You have to give up assets and pay him. The Saints don't value draft assets anyway. So if you're going to trade up for a player, why not just trade for a player that's already proven still in his prime? Fine. I don't know if they will. Ryan Poles is saying the right thing. Doesn't intend to trade Roquan Smith. The problem is, what if you can't get a deal done? Look, we've gone through so many different scenarios of guys who've demanded trades in the past where it hasn't gotten done, but there's times when it does. Jamal Adams is a great case in point of that. Antonio Brown is a case in point of that. Now, Roquan Smith said he did not believe the Bears were negotiating in good faith. It was sort of a take it or leave it offer every time. Keep in mind also, Roquan Smith is representing himself in these negotiations, which does, I can imagine, make that difficult. But Poles kind of pushed back on Smith, saying that the offer they made was actually a fair one.
When we engaged and we brought it. And I thought there was a lot of respect in where we're at right now. That obviously that's not good enough for him and his party, but I feel like we showed respect with what we've done and showed value for who he is as a football player and what he can become.
Okay, so we will follow that story. One of the best linebackers in football. The Saints are a linebacker-needy team. I'm not making any bold prediction like the Saints are going to go sign Roquan Smith. And as of right now, considering you traded up this year to get Olave, I don't even know that I'd say you have the draft capital to be able to do that, especially if they're looking for a one next year. That is, unless Sean Payton jumps into back into coaching and you recoup some draft capital from maybe Miami or another team with plenty of it. But those are all what-ifs at this point and do remain to be seen. We will keep you posted on all that. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. Theantiagingclinics.com. A simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. Safely, affordably, get yourself feeling better, feeling like your younger self. Burn fat, build muscle, sleep better at night, have more energy throughout the day. They can help you feel like you did in your 20s. The Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. That's theantiagingclinics.com. Okay, every Wednesday is a trivia night over at Pluckers, so this is something we've incorporated into the show. Muse, if you would give me a little trivia music, I'd appreciate that. We will work on some trivia questions here. Muse, did you pull out any trivia questions, by the way?
Sure did.
You did?
Yep.
What are they regarding?
Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. That's what you said this week was, right?
Yeah. I've never seen either show.
Some of them you might be able to guess. Some of them that I picked, you might be able to guess, though. It's not, you have a shot, at least, we'll say. Like this one.
What if I have a question for you?
On what?
Better Call Saul.
Yeah, I've
Breaking
never
Bad.
seen it. I'd get it wrong, probably.
Yeah. Not so smart, then, are you? Without your
I didn't say I was.
How about this one?
This is Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad?
Why don't you let me ask the question?
Okay.
Then maybe you'll find out. Throughout Better Call Saul.
Oh, there we go.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it pays just to... Hey.
Sometimes.
God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. What MLB team is on the shirt that Kim wears at home?
I'm thinking West Coast. Actually, maybe not. No. We're going to say the New York...
Why would you say West Coast?
Well, because I know Breaking Bad was out west. Like, that was
Are you sure?
set out west. It's Breaking Bad was set out west. There's desert and everything. But actually, I'm going to go back East Coast.
Oh, it's set in
here.
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
There you go. How about that?
Home of Abreg.
Yeah. For Better Call Saul, I'm going to say the New York Mets.
Sorry, no. It's I mean, give yourself the buzzer.
Oh, the fader was down.
I mean, you are terrible at this, clearly.
Who was it? I don't.
Oh, it was the Kansas City Royals.
Oh, okay.
How about this one? Where is Huel Babineau from?
This is Better Call Saul again?
Again, if you'd listen.
You just said, where's Huel Babineau from?
And the note says he's in both shows.
I can't see the note. I'm not reading it.
Again, why don't you just wait?
Okay.
Wait, and then maybe that'll be answered.
Huel Babineau.
Yeah, where's he from?
Lafayette, Louisiana.
No.
With a name like Babineau? Yes, he is.
He's from Coushatta, Louisiana.
Oh, come on.
You're so close. You were so close.
Dang
I tell
it.
you what. Paul, did you ever see these shows?
I did not.
Oh, okay. We are worthless. None of us have seen the show. But anyway, Pluckers Trivia tonight. Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul Trivia. 8 o'clock, both locations. One more for you here, Muse.
Lovely.
In Better Call Saul, who was the Nebraska quarterback that Jimmy talked with? Excuse me. Who was the Nebraska quarterback that Jimmy talked with mall security about in Season 6, Episode 10?
Can I have a hint? Is
Nope.
it a old Nebraska quarterback or maybe one that was the quarterback when the show was going on?
I don't know when the show was going.
Well, I mean, if you saw the name, was it Tommy Frazier?
No, sorry. It was Taylor Martinez.
No, it was one where the show was going on.
Well, Muse, you're 0 for 3.
I feel like Taylor Martinez has been the quarterback in Nebraska for like 17 years.
He's not the quarterback in Nebraska anymore.
You sure?
Yes, he transferred. He's at Kansas State?
Okay.
Kansas State? Am I good there with the state? Did I get that right? Whoa, that was weird. Reset. Oh, no, never mind. He's with the Eagles now. Who am I thinking of?
They had another Martinez that was the quarterback as well. They had a couple of them. That's why it feels like he's been there so long. You've seen Martinez on the back of the jersey.
Adrian Martinez.
Yep, Adrian Martinez. He did transfer.
Wow, okay. Adrian Martinez is the quarterback at, did I get this right? I'm almost he's at Kansas State.
Kansas State.
Had Martinez, Kansas State, had the right transfer. It's hard to keep track of all the transfers in college football.
I think they were the same number, too, if I'm being honest. Like 2 or 1 or something at Nebraska.
Let's see. Adrian Martinez wore 2. I think Taylor Martinez.
Did he wear 1? It was single digit. I know he had a single digit number. 3.
3.
Okay.
There it is. There it is.
That's close,
do you want to throw one out to? By the way, if you know Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, trivia tonight at Pluckers, 8 o'clock. Get your team together. Every team gets to spin the prize wheel, so every team wins something, even if you don't win a round. You want to throw one out to me?
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Walter White, this is Breaking Bad. Walter White's transformation from nerdy high school chemistry teacher to criminal kingpin all started with what specific medical diagnosis?
That has nothing at all to do with sports.
Yeah, right. This is Breaking Bad trivia.
I gave you 3 sports questions.
One of them was a town in Louisiana. That's not a sports question.
Yeah, it was a sports question.
It wasn't. Oh, let's see if I can find a sports question for you. Here's a layup, Matt.
By the way, the previous one I'll go with insomnia.
Lung cancer.
Hank,
Walt's brother-in-law, is a DEA agent. What does DEA stand for?
The Drug Enforcement Agency. Did I really screw that up?
It's the Drug Enforcement Administration.
Oh, hell! Oh,
got him.
Hell!
I think you used all the sports questions there.
The DEA was administration.
It is federal administration.
All right. Go do better. I did good last week. I did really well. Paul even gave me one of these last we went. Paul gave me like the eyebrow raise. Like, that's pretty impressive. I started off like 4-0.
Yeah.
Should have just quit at that point. I think
Always quit while you're ahead.
Yeah, but then how far ahead do you know? Like, you know.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's fair.
All right. It's after further review. So Pluckers Trivia is tonight, every Wednesday over at Pluckers. So a lot going on tonight. T-Bob and I will be at Scone and Tea at Oliver Twist from 7 to 8. If you can't be there with us, you can watch on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel or the 104.5 ESPN Facebook page. It is worth noting that is like whiskey and wine. It is an NSFW show. We do curse and also stream. So if that's not your bag, no worries. But we'll be there at 7 o'clock. Come get a pour of the Break-Even bottle. It's the Dovetail Gray Label. Pretty incredibly rare bottle that we're going to be pouring. So $11 per pour tonight for that. And, of course, trivia tonight at Pluckers, either location starting at 8 o'clock. All right, let me knock out a quick break. Ricky Collins set to announce in about 90 minutes. I have some thoughts on that. And the latest on Deshaun Watson, the new Denver owner, mocked Roger Goodell unintentionally, and this was great. If you haven't heard it yet, you'll hear it next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Better coverage for less money. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. You can call them today at 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. I tell you every single day, stop overpaying to be underinsured. All of us, every single one of us right now is feeling the pain of what it costs right now with inflation. An AFR listener named Nick, they wrote his policy today. They increased his coverage by over $100,000, better coverage, and saved them $2,000 annually. They had been with Liberty Mutual. Stop overpaying to be underinsured. What if you could add $2,000 to your family budget annually? How much would that help you, especially right now? Let Insurance Network of Louisiana shop for free. There is no catch. They will shop for free to find you better coverage for less money. 293-0450 or online, lainsurance.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Never, ever, 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 ever be confused as to who actually is calling the shots in the NFL. You probably know that the Denver Broncos have sold for a record over $4 billion for an NFL franchise. Rob Walton is the new primary owner of the Denver Broncos. And today, after that sale was approved and went through, Rob Walton on the NFL Network thanked the new commissioner. The new owner thanked the commissioner of the NFL.
I'd like to thank Roger Goodell, Commissioner Goodell, we're just so excited.
Hey, Rob, how about one more time? One more time, Rob. One more time.
I'd like to thank Roger Goodell, Commissioner Goodell.
Roger Goodell, Commissioner Goodell. You know, there was the Sean Payton movie, Home Team, and Chloe Fineman from SNL has a role in that where apparently she's Sean Payton's, I haven't seen the movie yet, but she's Sean Payton's secretary, and she comes in and says, Coach Payton, there's a Mr. Goodell on the phone, just like that. And now the new owner of the Denver Broncos cannot pronounce Roger Goodell's name. Make no mistake whatsoever. This is not Roger Goodell's league. This is a league run by a bunch of old, rich people. Now, Roger Goodell himself is very, let me rephrase that, old, wealthy people. I believe Shaq is the one who so aptly put it when he said that he was rich, but the guy who signed his check was wealthy. Roger Goodell is rich. The owners that are paying the billions of dollars for these franchises are wealthy, and Rob Walton is one of them. And it was very nice to see Roger Goodell just kind of punch between the eyes there with the new owner of the franchise not being able to say his name correctly. This all while the Deshaun Watson situation continues to linger. If you've been here, I have no. Please don't change the channel. I have no interest in talking about Deshaun Watson. Not the merit of it, not the NFL, not what's collectively bargained about whatever. Other people are having that conversation ad nauseum. I don't care about. I care about one thing. Is Deshaun Watson playing week 16? When on Christmas Eve, when the Saints go to Cleveland, December the 24th, is Deshaun Watson going to be there? Here is what Roger Goodell very bullishly said today in the NFL seeking a full-year suspension for Deshaun Watson.
Because we've seen the evidence. She was very clear about the evidence. She reinforced the evidence that there was multiple violations here, and they were egregious, and it was predatory behavior. Those are things that we felt... we always felt were really important for us to address.
Okay, egregious, predatory behavior, all that sort of stuff. That seems pretty apparent. The fact that they had an independent third party, that independent third party handed down a 6-game suspension, and that was not enough for the commissioner, tells you he's going to keep doing whatever he has to do until he gets the result that he wants, which is a full-year suspension, which when that happens, and I'm assuming it will happen before Friday, when Cleveland is set to play their first preseason game. And if Deshaun Watson is not suspended prior, he will play for the Cleveland Browns in their preseason game. So you better believe Mr. Goodell is preparing and pushing to have that suspension announced prior to Cleveland playing its first preseason game. Again, I don't know the particulars. What happened? I know what you know. Face value, service value. There's circumstantial evidence and stuff on both sides of it. Make your own decisions. Hopefully you make an informed decision. All I want to know is whether or not Deshaun Watson is going to be playing Week 16 when the Saints go to Cleveland. And if he's not, that gives the Saints a much better chance to win there in that game. And I would be really fascinated to see if the Cleveland Browns would do a deal with San Francisco for Jimmy Garoppolo. Garoppolo right now is 4th on the 49ers depth chart. Do they really feel in Cleveland, with a really talented roster, but without Deshaun Watson, just a massive gap at quarterback, do they feel like they can win? Or do they go make a play for a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo? That's why this thing continues to be interesting from our perspective here. So we should have, I would assume we are going to have resolution here in the next 2 days before Cleveland takes the field in their first preseason game, because I don't think the NFL wants to see Deshaun Watson out there. Well, clearly, they don't want to see Deshaun Watson out there at any point. And look, we know Jacoby Brissett from his time at Florida. He transferred to NC State. He has started games for the Colts. He's now in Cleveland. Give me the Saints healthy, Jameis going to Cleveland against Jacoby Brissett and the Browns. Feeling really good about it. All right. It's after further review. If you want to place futures bets, you can at DraftKings. You want to place a win total bet on the Saints or the Tigers, you can do it. You want to place that bet on the Cleveland Browns, you can do it at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Remember, new users, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the promo code Baton Rouge, get up to $1,000 risk-free on your first bet. That's right. Bet up to $1,000 risk-free when you use the promo code Baton Rouge if you're a new user. Means if you lose, no worries, they're going to give you another bite at the apple. That's at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Got Major League Baseball coming up tonight. We'll get Otter locks here in a few minutes. Any sport you want to bet on at any time, in-game, live betting, same-game parlays, the more legs you add, the more money you can win. It's all there for you at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The official sports betting partner of AFR. It's DraftKings. Remember, $1,000 risk-free first bet for new customers when you use the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-7-STOP. Ricky Collins, 4-star quarterback out of Woodlawn here in Baton Rouge. The announcement is coming up, man. He's going to make his announcement at 7 o'clock tonight. So we'll know in just a little more than an hour from right now what Ricky Collins is going to do. Of course, he had been committed previously to Purdue. He decommitted after a visit last week to LSU. He visited LSU on Friday and then decommitted promptly thereafter, and then made this announcement that he's going to be making the decision. So that's coming tonight at 7 o'clock. I'll remind you this. Shelton Sampson was on with us yesterday, 5-star receiver, Catholic High here in Baton Rouge. Shelton Sampson was on AFR yesterday. I asked him about Ricky Collins. This is what he said.
I feel like me and Rick would be a dynamic duo. Like, we've been playing 7-on-7 together, been knowing each other since we was little, so that's already, that relationship already there.
Wait, so you and Ricky Collins have been playing 7-on-7 since how old were you?
Like 14, 15.
They've been playing 7-on-7 since they were teenagers, 14, 15 years old. He said, we will be a dynamic duo. I maybe tipping his hand a little bit, but I think we all understand where this is going. You look at all of the crystal balls at 247 on 3. Everybody is projecting Ricky Collins now to pick LSU. He's a top 15 quarterback, and I'll reiterate again right now what I said when he decommitted from Purdue, and what I've said for months and months. I'm not a scout, not a talent evaluator or anything like that, but I watch that kid play, and he can play at this level. He can play at the SEC level. Not only does he have the physical ability to do it, but he's got a little bit of dog in him. I watched him last year, Hand Catholic, their only loss, and he largely did it with his own will and gumption as they were outmanned. But that was a dude who 3 times they fell behind, 3 times he led them back to tie it. They got a turnover, and he led the game-winning drive. Like, that's a dude that is an alpha. It's evident. He's an alpha, and he's got the physical ability. I do not look at that in any way as a consolation prize. If Ricky Collins picks LSU tonight, 4-star, he's got himself listed at 6'4", 190 on his profile. I know 247 has him. I believe it's 6'2". Whatever it is, I'm telling you, I don't care. That dude can play. And if you're starting to get dudes from the state of Louisiana, where you have Walker Howard, Nussmeier claims Louisiana, you got Walker Howard, who's a Louisiana high school kid, Ricky Collins behind him, I'm all about it. So let's see what this announcement comes down here in a couple hours, and we'll certainly be talking about it tomorrow on the show. All right, it's after further review. Y'all will knock out our final break. We got Otter Locks coming up. Jimmy will jump aboard with us, tell us what we're betting on tonight. We'll wrap up the show with Otter Locks next. Stick around.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Schutz Electric. You know the drill by now. CESofLA.com. CESofLA.com. When the power goes out, don't get stuck sweating in your house. Don't get stuck waiting hours in line for gas to fill up your generator or your car. Don't get stuck waiting hours in line for ice just to keep your perishable items cold. Don't get stuck sweating in your house. Don't pack up and leave just because the power's out. That's not just with a storm. That's anytime. Schutz Electric will come by, install a home standby generator, so when the power goes out, boom, instantly your Generac powers on and powers your whole house as if the power never went out. It is affordable, available, and work. I could not sing their praises highly enough with how impressed I was throughout the whole process when we installed our standby generator with Schutz. Look them up online. CESofLA.com.
Vizzy, the first hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C. It's different. Vizzy, step up your seltzer game.
The nationally recognized Louisiana, over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the booth. Engineering, legal, and finance with the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment unit. 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast office products.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off new Ford F-150s. We have new 2021 F-150s on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-34.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Pluckers. We got one thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Workbox Services. For over 20 years, Baton Rouge's leader on on-site construction, industrial, and residential services.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable, the often incomprehensible, the Ott father himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
On life support. We're trying to get through this thing. The summer of Costanza. I've got quite a tan, but you know.
Is this the longest you have ever stayed away?
It actually it is. Yeah. It beat me, Panamsky, and Hanny, our Dublin, Ireland, London, Paris trip, for sure. So when Tracy was tired of eating European food, and Hanny came down to the Paris bar, the hotel bar, and said, "At this point, I'll give up half my 4OK for a Pizza Hut sliced pizza."
That sounds so on brand.
So thank goodness for Musso's sorry Red Sox. So we got that one, but I mean. These games are going back and forth today, too. I mean, we're sweating them. I got the Padres. I got the Yankees. Yankees, 3 runs to take a 3-1 lead, and they give up 3 runs. So that's back and forth. Padres are down 4, up 6-4, down 7-6, now up 9-7. So, and last night, Matt, I don't know if you watched from the Orioles, Blue Jays game to the Red Sox, Braves, the Seattle Yankees. There's some crazy games last night, including Josh Hader blowing a 3-run lead in 9th, and then Machado getting a 3-run walk-off to cover. So some wild late, games back and forth. But yesterday, the chalk really held through. So let's get to them. Let's go. Here we go. All right, Kyle Wright against Musso. Sorry, Red Sox. That's we can't. We're just going to keep fishing in that well till they quit biting.
All right.
Orioles are plus 40, man. I mean, the pitcher has better numbers. Form is kind of so-so between them, but they're just a better team right now. They're at home and they're plus 40. I'm riding the Orioles in that one. The Guardians pitcher should not be $1.75 over a U12 team. I know the Tigers have fired their general manager, but I gotta take a swing at the Tigers. Look, big dog taking a swing in that one. I apologize. One thing we didn't have to sweat on was that run line with the Cardinals last night. With the starter, with a sub-3 ERA, gave up about 75 runs the first inning. And then we got first five Minnesota Twins. Sonny Gray against the guys just making his first appearance since July 5th. Pepiot, I don't know. You take your choice.
Tomato.
Yeah. So, but Twins first five because Sonny Gray's only been averaging about 5 1/3 his last 3 starts. That Twins bullpen eliminates them from the equation. So Twins, and there are plus money too. Of course, Dodgers going for a 10-game winning streak, but Twins first five plus about $1.30.
All right, so Atlanta, Baltimore, Detroit, and the Minnesota Twins first five. Those are the Otters 4-pack tonight. Are you here tomorrow? Meaning on the show with us?
Tomorrow's a travel day.
Okay.
You go West Coast, East Coast. It's just a whole day. So
Got it.
I can text you picks. I am unavailable for airtime tomorrow.
Okay.
As I think you myself, and your audience is kind of tired of this run at this point.
I had someone text me today who said, I need Otter to come back. I'm starving. Have you done okay at the track at least?
Had a great start. Did not have a great finish. So, come stop.
So,
the food's been good. I'm making my rounds, making last day, going to see all my local friends after everybody has made it back home, and without casualties. So, anyway, Ethan is getting credit for home economics on the way. So he's doing well there.
Wait, did he come join you for a bit? Is he back home now?
Yeah, no. He came in between their. They give him a week off of football workouts the last week of summer.
Got it.
So we've got that to them.
Okay.
So anyway, they asked me when I'm coming back. I'm like, bro, next summer. Like,
so
right.
You mean you're not going to be with us at Media Days next summer?
Matt, it'll be. I think Media Days just might be in my rearview mirror.
It's Nashville next year.
Well, that is a big upgrade.
That's appealing. That's appealing. Come join us in Nashville.
Sumo to Nashville.
I'll twist your arm a little bit.
Well, I mean, we can make some sort of memoirs out of this. I mean, Sumo to Nashville. Kind of like my buddy Sam Willard, who dressed me for opening day. He says, "Hey, Del Mar, it ain't Grand Isle." So.
Hey, where's Handy tonight?
I forget. Where is he?
He's at City Slice. I heard the promo.
I know City Slice. I'm just playing around.
Okay.
So.
I don't know if you are. I don't know if I believe you're just playing around.
That's the beauty of it. I don't even know anymore.
Well, I did hear the promo, and Hanny is at City Slice. Pints.
Yes, I'm doing the first 2 segments with him.
Okay.
So.
Well, hopefully on the up and up. Have a safe journey home. We're looking forward to having you back in BR, and hopefully by Monday you're rested, ready to roll, and get on that roll again.
If not, I'll blame my son. So,
Fair enough. All right, Otter. Have a great night. We appreciate it.
Matt, good luck.
All right, thanks, man. That is Jimmy Ott. Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us in Baton Rouge. If you're not in Baton Rouge, online at 1045ESPN.com or the Game Time with Jimmy Ott Facebook page. Again, Otter tonight, Braves, Orioles, Detroit Tigers, and the Minnesota Twins first five. That's his 4-pack tonight. And mercifully, his run is coming to an end at Del Mar because this is brutal. The part of it that makes it even more disappointing is he was so scorching hot when he left. I mean, he was in such a zone on Otter Locks with his baseball picks before he left. And then, I get it. You go away for a month. You're at the track, watching horses, eating out, you're doing your thing. I mean, I get it. It's just not as locked in. But I'll get it back. Football about to start as well. All right, just about going to do it for us. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Remember, you miss anything, AFR On Demand, presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time, golf.breck.org. Saints Camp Report from Maddy Hudak, tons of LSU talk. It's all there. Catch us on demand. And make sure you subscribe up to the After Further Review YouTube channels as well. I'm getting out of here. going to Oliver Twist, T-Bob and I, Scone and T, 7 o'clock on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube or the 104.5 ESPN Facebook page if you can't be there. Or come join us there at Oliver Twist on Perkins. All right, Muse. What did you learn today?
The new Broncos owner thinks it's pronounced Roger Goodell.
Do you know the reference with the Home Team movie when Chloe Fromm was like, Mr. Goddell? Goddell? It's incredible. Like, how do you not know how to pronounce Goodell's name when you spent $4 billion? You should call him whatever you want. Paulie, what did you learn today?
The NFL coming to Black Friday in 2023.
I'm bummed about that, too. It's going to screw up the college day.
What'd you learn, Matt?
I learned that there's a character in Breaking Bad who is from Kushada. It's going to do it for us. Y'all have a great night. Paulie, Muse, thanks so much. We'll see y'all tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, going to remind you about South Point Volkswagen and southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Go check out the website. It's where I would always recommend you start. The average car buyer, just about a half a decade ago, would go visit north of 3 dealerships before making a purchase. You know what you used to do. You drive around different dealerships, try to haggle, make a deal. Not anymore. The average is 1.2 dealerships before making a purchase. So you just do the shopping online, then go pick up your car. South Point Volkswagen. Go to the website. You'll see the easy-to-use inventory search right there on the homepage. If it's new or certified pre-owned, if it's on the lot, it's online at southpointvw.com. You can even request a sale price. You can work out your financing. You can narrow the search by literally any criteria you want. southpointvw.com. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar.